Hello everyone, this is Vitasa and welcome back to my YouTube channel.
1, 2, 3, funky.
If you're new here, then make sure to check out my channel, and if you like my videos, then give it a subscribe. And if you're already subscribed to my channel, thank you so much for coming back. You know I love you and appreciate you. Thank you so much. So in the last week on my Instagram, I uploaded a few pictures that got a lot of attention from you guys. I don't want to be that person, but a lot. Seriously, a lot of you guys asked me for the tutorial of how I edited those pictures, and it just felt like I should because there were like so many people asking. So yes, in this video I will tell you how I edit the film and disposable camera vintage looking pictures. This will be my third video about editing pictures. I have already posted 2 of them. I will put the link in the description and somewhere around here. Feel free to check out those videos as well. So yes, once again in this video I will be telling you how to edit your pictures like a film camera. So first of all, you need a picture obviously, but make sure you turn the flash on. Since we know all those old cameras that we used to have always had their flash on, so that is why the effect is more prominent if your picture is clicked with flash on. So for my pictures, I use my camera Canon G7X Mark II. It's the same camera that I'm taking this video from. It's my vlogging camera, it's my picture camera, but you can use your phone as well. Just make sure you are clicking from the back camera and your flash is on. For editing it, you need 2 apps that I mainly use, that are Lightroom and PicsArt. Most of the edit will be done in Lightroom and some other effects will be added on PicsArt. So this is my raw picture. I am gonna edit it live in front of you. So first tab is the lighting. We need to adjust the lighting in this picture. As you can see, it is very harsh. Since it's already very bright, we don't need to touch the exposure, but we will reduce the contrast to maybe like 14. So the key to adjust the lighting in this picture, since it's very much exposed to external light, is that we reduce the highlights and the whites in this picture. So we are gonna reduce the highlights to the minimum, that is -100, and the whites to maybe like 70 or something. That will make the light a bit, softer, as you can see. Now here it doesn't really matter, but we will try to increase the shadows a bit. We don't want to do it like too much. If you do it too much, all the black areas of your picture will just lighten up and it does not look good. Let's say we increase the shadows to like 14 or 15. Now this black stamp makes the black and dark areas of a picture darker or lighter. So we're gonna just make it a little bit darker. Let's say to -17. Now the most important part of the light adjustment is the light curve. I am not gonna explain in this video like how the curves exactly work. I've already explained it in my previous video where I edited my other picture and I explained how the curves work. So if you want to know exactly how the curves are working, you should check out that video. I will put it here or here. So now I'm going to be using a steep simple S curve. I'm going to be lifting the shadows and flattening the highlights. So by lifting shadows, you give it a very vintage kind of look, and here I flattened the highlights a bit. Now as you can see, my picture is looking kind of faded out, so I'm gonna adjust a few. Now you can see the picture is looking kind of like a vintage photo. So make sure you use this curve if you want to give that effect to your pictures. Now moving on to the color part. So we'll be increasing the temperature a little bit to give a little warmth to this picture because it's already very yellow. So maybe temperature will increase to like 11. Now I don't know if it's like a fact or it's true, but I've always observed that these vintage looking pictures have this greenish tint to them. So I always add a little green tint to my pictures. So the tint will be in the minus direction to, let's say, -22 or 23. Now we are not keeping the saturation a lot because the old cameras didn't capture colors that well. So we'll kind of reduce the saturation to, let's say, 35 or something. But now you can see it is very unsaturated. So we'll increase the vibrance a little bit. I don't know exactly what the difference is between vibrance and saturation. I just think that vibrance just gives out how vibrant your color should be. Like, I don't know, let's say I'll put it at like 26. Okay, now you can see the picture is not very colorful. It's like very weird. So we'll go to the color mix to adjust each color individually, which is a task. Now the color mix completely depends on your picture, like what outfit you're wearing, what is your complexion, what is your background. So for this picture, what I've used, I might not use it for other pictures with different outfits. So for each color adjustments, I'll be putting the screenshots here so you can copy that in your pictures, and I will do the same. So this is how my picture looks after using all the color adjustments. But you can see the purple color is not really standing out, and I want the purple color to be prominent in this picture. So what I will do is I'll take this cursor here and I will point it to purple here, and I will increase the saturation of that color by sliding your finger. I don't know if you understood what I did. I took the cursor and I put it on saturation. You can see the hue, saturation and luminance thing. I put it on saturation and I just slid my finger like that to increase the saturation. So now we step on to color grading. Color grading is a newly introduced feature on Lightroom. Previously it was known as split toning. It serves more or less the same purpose. The only addition is that we can adjust the mid-tones as well, which I am not going to do in this picture though. So in color grading you can actually choose the highlights, shadows and mid-tones separately and adjust their color and saturation. So let me quickly explain how this works. This whole circle is whatever your color grading circle, let's say it's for shadows. The outer dot here represents what hue should we take of whatever color, and the inner dot, you can adjust the saturation from the dot. You can actually make it wander anywhere. So the farther you are from the center, the more is the saturation. Did you understand? So in this we're gonna make the shadows a little bit pink. So one thing, I don't have any technical or particular reason to use things in my pictures. I just sit down and edit however I want to. I'm just telling you how I did this picture. So I don't know, there's no reason for me to use pink, but so I'm gonna put the hue to, let's say, 309, and saturation won't be too much. It would be like 7. You have to make your highlights a little bit blue. So I'm gonna be choosing like 233 here, and saturation, let's say 32. If the circle thing is very confusing to you and you can't really do it, there is a bar here, like there's a small arrow here. You can just tap it and you can adjust it on the slide bar. My saturation is 233. Sorry, my hue is 233 and my saturation is 32. So here we added a pink and blue tone to this picture. You can see how much difference that makes. So it's almost done. We will go to the effects tab and we will adjust the texture and clarity. So we will reduce the texture and clarity. We will reduce the clarity to let's say 35 to make the picture look more softer. Even the texture, not too much, maybe like 13. As you can see, the picture looks like it's glowing and it's soft, and that's what we really wanted. Now the next thing is dehaze. It just adds a little bit of darkness or lightness overall to your picture. It's kind of different from exposure and brightness. I'm gonna put a little dehaze, like say plus 19. For a film looking picture, we need vignette in your photos for sure. As you can see, the corners are very much lit and very much bright, but if you actually click a picture from one of those old cameras, you will see the focus of light is on center and the corners are usually very dark. So we need to add some vignette to it. So let's say 27. To make it look more natural and everything, we will increase the feather, like to make it more soft. Now to add a grain of salt,
literally.
So we add a little grain to our picture. Just make sure you don't add a lot of grain, just a little, maybe like 20 to 25. So as you can see, my picture is almost done. Like you can see the difference here. So now we will export this picture. I know I've said vintage like 1,000 times in this video, and I don't want to sound annoying, but I don't know what else to say. So if you've seen any
vintage
pictures, you know there are like dusters and scratches on those pictures, so that's what we are gonna do to this picture. So for that we will go to PicsArt, select our picture, and we go to the mask option and select dust. So we have a lot of dust options ranging from the type of dust and whatever, like so many, but my favorite that I'm gonna use for this picture is the DST9, which kind of makes it look like a physical photo that is present in a photo album with that little scratch on the side. I really like it so much, so I'm gonna apply this. So the last step is this effect that is totally optional. So if you want to post a picture just like this, you can totally, but if you want to make it more, you know, real, authentic,
vintage
you can go to the effects tab, that is effects, and go to blur. I'm already on blur, and use the lens blur option and adjust the radius and lightness according to whatever you want. So this kind of makes your image more blurry and soft, and we're gonna save it, and we are done. That's it guys, that was a tutorial you all were asking for, and I hope this video helped you, and I'm really hoping to see some really cool pictures from you guys. So if you upload these pictures on Instagram, make sure to tag me so I can see them and just look at them and feel proud or something. So my Instagram is Vitasa Bhatt. Make sure you give it a follow if you like my profile, but at least make sure to check it out. And if you liked this video and it helped you, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more content from my side, make sure to subscribe to my channel. That really motivates me to post more and more stuff. So here I'm ending this video. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe guys, and I'll see you next week. Bye.